Alright, so today I think we try something a little different, alright? We're gonna take a break from all the matches, all the combo training, all the grinding on rank. Let's take a break from all that and just talk, alright? I want to talk to you guys about my favorite fighting game characters. So today we're gonna start with Mortal Kombat, but if you enjoy this type of video, we can do more in the future. You know, we can talk about Street Fighter characters, we can talk about Tekken characters, we can talk about Soul Calibur characters, you know? I don't have much experience with Soul Calibur, but I'm sure I could pick out a few characters that I like, you know, from those games. But no, we're gonna start with Mortal Kombat because Mortal Kombat just means so much to me. Not only has it been a big part of my channel, but it also just been a big part of my childhood. I remember being 10 years old and I'm playing Deception and Armageddon on my dad's PS2 with my friends. So it just means a lot to me. Mortal Kombat, it just means so much to me, and there's a bunch of characters from Mortal Kombat that mean a lot to me. But we're probably going to do this in like a tier list format, right? So we're going to probably narrow it down to like top 5, just because that helps me narrow it down from characters that I like to characters that I love. And I want to share with you guys the characters that I love. So without further ado, here are my favorite Mortal Kombat characters. Let's go. Alright, so we have most, if not all, MK characters here, and the tiers are pretty straightforward. You know, we got 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then the best Mortal Kombat character ever. So remember, this is all opinion based, alright? This is just my opinion. You can't get hurt. Your feelings can't get hurt if your favorite character doesn't make it onto my top 5 list. However, we can talk about that in the comments down below, alright? I'm glad and would love to talk to you guys about my list. You can tell me how wrong I am, but let's get started, alright? We got to start. Here we go, number 5. Let's figure this out. So I think for 5th place, we're gonna go with the character who I do like, all right? I do love this character, but it's mostly because of his gameplay, all right? His gameplay from Mortal Kombat 11 specifically, because while, yeah, he does have a cool design, it was just the fact that I really enjoy doing his combos back in MK11, and that character is Noob Saibot, all right? Yeah, MK11 Noob just had fun combos, right? Like, we can't deny that. Really, he didn't have many ways to open you up, which I think is the reason I didn't main him in that game. But whenever you did finally get that hit on somebody and you got a full punish combo or something, it was just the sickest shit in a game where combos weren't the flashiest, right? Like, everyone can agree, MK11 did not have the flashiest combos, but Noob Saibot did. You just never got to see them that often, just because he couldn't open you up, you know, or he'd get zoned out. It just sucked. But he did have sick ass combos. I remember having fun with those combos, so that's why I think he takes the 5th spot. All right, and then I think this is pretty fitting. Number 4, the younger brother, Sub-Zero, which honestly it doesn't matter whether it's Bihan or Kuai Liang. I just like Sub-Zero, right? And to be honest, if it wasn't for Sub-Zero being one of the coolest motherfuckers, yes, that pun was intended. If it wasn't for Sub-Zero being one of the coolest motherfuckers when I was a kid, I probably wouldn't have been into MK, because it was the reason, like, the Sub-Zero Scorpion rivalry, that shit just had me hooked. That shit had me hooked. Seeing the trailers for, like, MK9 and MKX where those two are fighting, it's just like, this is the sickest shit, alright? I've only played Sub-Zero in Deception and, like, Deadly Alliance and all those other games. Armageddon. He was my main in MK versus DC the little bit of time that I did play in that game. But yeah, so I haven't really played Sub-Zero that much, especially like where I actually know what I'm doing. Because like I said, I was a kid back then. I was button mashing. Like, that's just how it was. But in terms of story and the rivalry between him and Scorpion, it was the sickest shit growing up. Everybody can agree with me on this. Like, Sub-Zero belongs on this list just for those reasons alone. But number 3, I'm a little torn because I know I need to put one of these characters on this list. I'm just not sure which one it should be, you know? Because, like, younger me is telling me to pick one of them, while more recent me is telling me to play the other one, you know? Because I played one more recently and the other one I played when I was a kid. However, I think younger me is going to win this because I think number 3's got to be Cyrax, all right? Now, this is specifically Cyrax from the older games, from the 3D games, the ones where that's when I played Cyrax. I do not mess with Cyrax now with the whole, don't get me wrong, his combos are cool. You know, the whole, you're hitting them and you're launching them into the grenades are launching them back, and you know, it's really cool. I just can't do it. Like, I'm just not skilled or talented enough to actually perform those combos, so I don't fuck with Cyrax now. But back then, specifically when Cyrax had a fucking lightsaber, like that's when Mortal Kombat was cool, bro. When Cyrax and Sector had lightsabers, that's when this game was cool. I remember using Cyrax to beat Blaze in Armageddon, and I was just doing his spin move with the fucking lightsaber. I was spinning that shit. And it was just the sickest shit as a kid. It was the sickest shit. As well as I used him a lot in the, I I forget what it was called, but basically the Mortal Kombat Mario Kart. I use Cyrex a lot in that game mode. So yeah, he definitely belongs on this list. So we are just blowing through this, and I'm starting to realize that there's still a lot of characters that I like, but I only have 2 spots left, right? And I'm pretty sure my mind's already made up on what 2 characters I want to put on here. I'm pretty sure y'all already know what number 1 is, but hey, stick around. I could pull a switcheroo on you, all right? You don't know. So you got to stick around for that. But first, we got to get to second place. And I think it's safe to say, call me recently biased, number 2 is Ermac, all right? And let me explain, all right? I think my love for Ermac really started in MK9, all right? I think that's when Ermac looked the coolest, right? That's when he started looking cool. Don't get me wrong, he looked, you know, fine in the 3D era and like older games like UMK3 and all that. He looked fine, right? He was just an MK ninja. He was the red one, all right? But MK9, when he started getting the mummified look, and I mean a cool mummified look, like he actually looked dope as hell. Like, it was actually cool looking, not the MKX bullshit, right? Where he had like a few he had 2 bandages on his face. No, not that. He had his whole face bandaged in MK9, and he had the fatality where he shrunk you down and you were over there screaming, and then he squashed you under his boot. That's when I think I really fell in love with this character. And while I didn't get much time to play him in MK9, and I didn't really play with him in MKX, even though MKX, he had some sick gameplay. It was fun to watch in like tournaments and stuff. But I never got to play him just because, like I said, I never had the urge to play Ermac in MKX just because his design wasn't that cool. Right? His design wasn't that cool. However, MK11, they dropped this sick ass design that they wasted, and that was devastating to me. It's like that was the one character on my DLC wish list. And then MK1 comes around, and he actually, I'm like, all right, again, I just want Ermac for the DLC, and they give him to me finally, and he looks stupid. He looked stupid at first. Luckily, they were prepared. They listened to some feedback, and they corrected it, and now Ermac is one of the sickest characters in MK1. It always has been, really, at least in my opinion, especially like Lift. Lift is such a cool move. The whole him slamming himself on the ground, he just has really cool moves, and to me, he's definitely my favorite MK ninja. And like I said, I fell in love with him in MK9, and ever since then, other than a few hiccups here and there, he's only gotten cooler. So that's the good thing. So yeah, Ermac takes number 2. Of all of these characters, you know, out of all of the gods, out of all of the assassins, the robots, the weirdos, you know, out of all these characters, there's only one that reigns supreme. And I think it's safe to say, I think all of you saw it coming. Yeah, no, it's Katana. It's Katana. It's always been Katana. You fucking knew it was gonna be Katana. Like, hold on. Like, of course it was gonna be Katana. I hope you can see all of this in frame. Of course it was gonna be Katana. How was it not gonna be Katana? I have gushed about this character ever since I started this channel like a year ago, right? Like, that's all people have heard from me, is that how much I love Katana. Now, let me break it down because I think it's kind of interesting, because I didn't start liking Katana until MK11, if that might surprise you, all right? It wasn't until MK11. I know, shocker, but hear me out, all right? Let's get into it on why I love Katana so much. But like I said, it might be a surprise to you, but I fell in love with Katana in MK11, right? Mortal Kombat 11 was the first game that I was really taking seriously, and whenever Katana's reveal trailer came out, I just fell in love, right? I fell in love with her design, with her character, like the way she carried herself, her gameplay especially, and I just knew I had to play the character. I had to play her, and like I said, it was the first time I was taking a fighting game really seriously, so I was learning anything and everything that Katana had to offer in the game, and she helped me win important matches. Like, I went to actual tournaments, and she was actually helping me win. I think most of that was because people didn't really see katanas online, so it was more of like a matchup check. But either way, it gave me core memories when I was growing in the fighting game community of just like actually winning tournament matches, actually going and people being like, oh, you're actually really good with katana, and I'm like, thank you. Like, it was a character that I got to bond and grow with in MK11. And don't get me wrong, I knew about katana before MK11, right? Like in Deception and Armageddon, in DC versus Mortal Kombat, all these other games, like in MK9, I knew about her, but I never really had a connection with her, nor like an interest in her. I just knew her as she's the blue like assassin slash ninja with the fan blades, right? She's the blue female ninja with fan blades. That's all I really knew about her. And you might be like, oh, well, that's all there is to know about her. No, you're wrong if that's all you think her character is. Katana is selfless. She is a princess, the princess of Edenia, princess of Outworld, Khan of Outworld. Like, it's, oh, she is She is such a well-written character. Her gameplay is sick. She is beautifully designed in almost every game she's in. I don't think there is a bad katana design. That might be a separate video we might have to do. We might have to go through every katana design because I don't think there's a bad one. I really don't. It'd be hard to pick one out. So I don't know. It's just I fell in love with the character in MK11, and then ever since then I revisited some of her old iterations. You know, I played MKX Katana, and I fell more in love because that was, you know, she had the assassin variation where she had the run ender, where she would run and then basically she'd catch you. She'd run on top of you and then stab you in the head, like jump off you and stab you in the head. Sick as shit. Like she also had like really cool fan combos where she could throw multiple fan tosses and keep you airborne. So I just fell even more in love when I revisited her in MKX. MK9, I only dabbled with her a little bit just because that game, just as a game in general, I couldn't really grasp MK9 as much as I could MKX and MK11 and now MK1. I just couldn't grasp that game specifically. I don't know why, but in the time I did try her, she felt almost as good as MK9, if not better. You know, it was still just as fun, right? And then obviously, like I said, now I play Katana in MK1. I have a blast. I have a blast like being kind of a voice for other Katana players, a beacon for other Katana players, where they come to me and they're like, hey, your combos are actually really sick. Like, I love hearing that. I love hearing that because it's my favorite character. So hearing that other people that are also enjoying the character that I love and they're saying that my Katana is actually pretty good, oh, dude, it makes my day. It makes my day. So I just have so many great memories with Katana. More recently, too. I think that's why I love her so much, because they are more recent memories that I have with Katana. So that's why she is easily my favorite and the best Mortal Kombat character ever of all time. All right, it's not up for debate. And if you're watching this video and you stuck this long, you agree with me. All right, you agree, and there's no debate to be had. And I can proudly say that these are my favorite Mortal Kombat characters. All right, we got Noob Saibot, Sub-Zero, Cyrax, Ermac, and the queen herself, Katana. All right, as that comes to no surprise of anybody. Everybody saw that one coming. Number one was obvious, but yeah, these are my top 5 Mortal Kombat characters. These are my favorite Mortal Kombat characters. Let me know what y'all thought of my list. Right, did you heavily agree? Did you love it? Did you hate it? You know, heavily disagree? You guys let me know in the comments down below. I love talking to you guys about all things fighting game related, so I would love to talk to you guys about y'all's favorite Mortal Kombat characters as well as what y'all thought of my list. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell right next to it so you never miss a video. I got a lot more fighting game content, just video game content in general that you're not going to want to miss. And like I said, we'll probably do more of these in the future just for different games such as Street Fighter, Tekken, Darkstalkers, you know, the whole mix. Every game's on the board. We'll get to them eventually. But yeah, until next time, guys, I'll see y'all later.